Hi there. I'd like to share with you a vision I had about Ukraine in 2007. I was at a dream interpretation training day, and the lady running the day asked us to ask for a vision and ask the Lord where he was and look at what he was wearing. I didn't expect much, but I closed my eyes in obedience, and I saw immediately Jesus, the face of Jesus, standing in front of me, smiling at me with hair and curly beard and bright eyes, full of laughter, full of life, and golden skin almost. And after a while looking at him, he faded out, and I was saying, Lord, don't go. But in his place, I saw the whole of the earth. I could see the curvature of the earth. And Jesus was standing very firmly, feet planted in Eastern Europe, with a shepherd's cloak on and a shepherd's staff in his hand. And I remember to ask, I said, Lord, what are you doing? And he said, the earth is the Lord's and everything in it, which I later found out was the beginning of Psalm 24. I didn't know at the time. And he looked into the east, where there was a terrible storm coming into the place where he was. And in the darkness of that storm and the rain, there were many, many sheep running around, frightened, wet, bedraggled, and frightened of the thunder and the lightning that was bursting on the sky. And he looked quite distressed from side to side, and I could see he was looking for shepherds, and there were none. So he called the sheep to himself, and he put his hand up to the eastern horizon. And as he lifted his hand up, I said, Lord, what are you doing? And he said, I am raising the Son of Righteousness. Now in my head, I didn't really understand, because the Son of Righteousness, I thought of him as the Son of Righteousness, in English spelt was slightly different, but anyway, that's what he said. And it's from the prophet Malachi, chapter 4, the last chapter of the Bible, the Son of Righteousness. And as he lifted his hand up, the sun rose as if it was attached to his hand. And the dark clouds and the darkness of the storm disappeared. Blue sky came out and began to dry out all the sheep, who shook themselves with pleasure in the sun. Happy sheep. And seeing that it was Jesus who had saved them, they all clustered around him, came around him closely. And the sheep who stood most close to him, right up against his legs, Jesus put two hands on the head of this sheep, and the sheep unfolded and became a man. And Jesus presented this man with a sword, a two-handed sword with a blade made of light, with a blade upmost. And this man took the sword and held it very proudly with a sword blade in front of his face. The next sheep that came closest, Jesus put two hands on this sheep's head in blessing, and the sheep unfolded into a man, and he gave him building plans, a roll of building plans. And I thought, wow, I knew what building plans were. I was working as a carpenter. And then the third sheep that came closest to Jesus, Jesus blessed the sheep again. The sheep unfolded into a man, and Jesus handed the sheep a long golden trumpet, the kind that you see angels blowing in Christmas cards in England. And the fourth sheep, I was getting the hang of this now. I thought, well, this sheep is going to be blessed, will become a man and be given something. I was trying to think, what will the Lord give him? But when the sheep began to unfold, instead of just becoming a man, the man put his arms out, and his two arms became the wings of a giant eagle. And as he pushed the arms, the wings now down, the legs of the man shrunk into his body, and he became an eagle and flew away into the west. And I thought, why is he flying away? Jesus is here. But I looked into the west to see where he was going, and he flew into the southwest of Europe, which was under cover of darkness. And under that darkness, I knew an evil army was coming into Europe and coming across Europe. And as I watched, more eagles flew overhead. So I looked back to Jesus to see where are all these eagles coming from. And now Jesus is standing in the front of an army, rank upon rank upon rank upon men and women who are holding swords and building plans and trumpets. And Jesus at that moment took off the cloak that he was wearing, and underneath he was wearing armour, like old-fashioned knight's armour. but made of shining silver metal. And he looked into the west at this evil army coming across Europe under cover of darkness. And he took one step off the planet to where I was standing outside watching. And with his face so passionate, it looked fierce to me. I've never seen Jesus fierce before. He said, "Now the battle begins." And I was back in the hall with all these hundreds of people. And I thought, wow, I can't wait to tell them this. But the Lord wouldn't let me. He said, "This is not for these people." And I wasn't allowed to tell anybody about this vision for 6 months, until my brother had a dream in which he heard in French the words that he had to look up, which meant the sun is rising, the sun is rising, the sun is rising, repeated over and over again. And he asked me, he said, "You do dream interpretation, Dominic. What does this mean?" And I asked, "Lord, can I tell him?" And the Lord said, "Yes, you can share it." And I shared it with him. The sun is the sun of righteousness rising in Eastern Europe. Well, in 2014, I was in Ukraine, in Kiev, with the Messianic Jewish congregation there. And I shared this vision. And it was quite hard for them to receive, because at that time the Russians were just invading the eastern border of their country. So their eyes were on the east, not on the west, as a problem. And I said, "Well, I think this is why the Lord has given this vision, to warn you." And that evening, as I was going to bed, the Lord said, "Do you know where I was standing, Dominic?" And I said, "In Eastern Europe, Lord." And he said, "I was standing here in Ukraine. I was standing here in Ukraine." So I've been backwards and forwards to the Ukraine since, trying to prepare the leaders of the communities for this becoming the army of the Lord, to fight against what's coming across from the West. Now, recently I was in America for a conference, and because of hearing of the news of the invasion of Ukraine, I couldn't sleep. I had many friends there, and I was praying at 5 o'clock in the morning for all my friends in Ukraine. And the Lord gave me a word for Ukraine, and I'll share it next in another video. But I just wanted to share this with you now. I felt the Lord wanted me to put it online. All right, God bless you. Bye-bye.